Speaker of the 9th Parliament of our dear Republic, the Majority Leader of Parliament, Deputy Minority Leader of Parliament, Chairman and members of Ghana's OGP caucus, honorable members of Parliament present, the Clerk to Parliament, management and staff of the Parliamentary Service, colleagues from civil society organizations, including student parliament leaders, and members of the Parliamentary Press Corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today is truly a historic day, and as someone who has been part of the journey over the past 8 years, when I say it's been historic, it fills me with great nostalgia to talk about how historic it has been. Because 8 years ago, as members of civil society, we were asked what legitimacy we had to demand for open parliament and to ask why parliament must be open. We have moved from that era to an era where now open parliament or parliamentary openness is a buzzword in this Parliament of Ghana. We have moved from when, during the Open Government Week in 2019, Honorable Bejra was identified as, Honorable Bejra and Honorable Ama Pema were identified as the only two members of Parliament who knew anything about OGP and Open Parliament at the time, to a period now when we have an OGP caucus in Parliament with a number of members of Parliament who are now training and mentoring their peers in other countries, including Cote d'Ivoire. We have moved from when Ghana's Parliament's participation in the National Action Plan of OGP was merely ensuring that laws get passed as part of the OGP Action Plan to being an integral part of the last two National Action Plans, in that Ghana's Parliament has chapters in the last two National Action Plans, and we are today here to launch a Parliament Action Plan on openness. For me, these are clear signs of a parliament that has shown significant growth and improvement over the last couple of years. And as members of civil society, we really want to doff our cap for the Parliament of Ghana for committing itself to this cause all this while. Mr. Speaker, what amazes us is that over the last 4 years, not only has Parliament committed to this cause, but this has been a Parliament that has had its skin in the game, in that in developing the various action plans, in going about the various activities that needs to be held, not did we find civil society being the ones committing the resources, but Parliament, through its own internal budget, committing the resources to this particular process from start to today when we are inaugurating it. And I think Parliament deserves commendation for this. And so we're happy that this is seeing the light of day. And Mr. Speaker, it is only appropriate that we commend you, your leadership, the management of Parliament for keeping the course, the various individuals who have been part of this. I see many of the faces that we had begun this with who are still stayed true to the course, and today we have the privilege of launching this. And so indeed today is a historic day. But today being a historic day also means that we move into a next era, an era of where we did all the preparatory work and we are here to launch the action plan and the steering committee, to an era of full implementation and rollout, to an era of sustainability when these efforts can be sustained beyond the cycle of one parliament, to an era when this becomes an integral part of the Parliament of Ghana beyond Speaker Gbagbe and beyond the current leadership of Parliament. That is what we hope to see. And it's our prayer that those of us in civil society will continue to partner with Parliament in ensuring that these happens. For us at Parliamentary Network Africa, we're happy to have supported the process all this while. And of course, as we mark our 10th anniversary as an organization, it fills us with a lot of joy that we can see that this process that we have been an integral part of is seeing the light of day. Long live the open parliament process in the Parliament of Ghana, and long may this process continue in our country. Thank you so very much. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Obeng, for that brief remarks. I was expecting to hear a lot more. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have been in this house at least for the last 4 years and have sat under the tutelage of the Right Honorable Speaker, I'm very sure that you must know a lot about Parliament. And there's one particular, when he starts talking about the history of Parliament, he tells us that the word Parliament has a French origin. Who remembers that? Mr. Speaker, your students would want to make you proud this morning. Who remembers the word Parliament has a French origin? Who can tell us that? Yes, from the audience. From the audience. You people should not shy, Mr. Speaker. Hello? Hello? Mr. Speaker, your courtesy. You are not a more. You are cheating. Yes. Those of you who come for courtesy call all the time, yes. Parliament comes from the French word parlement. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much, Liz. Because so you see, there are so many who are keeping tab on your French lessons. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the next person I would invite up here is the Member of Parliament for Ho West. He is also the chairperson of the Parliamentary Christian Fellowship. He is also the chairperson of Get Fund. He is also the chairperson of the Ikpando Boys and Girls Association. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Emmanuel Kwesi Bedzrah.
Piero, Right Honorable Speaker, the leadership of Parliament, represented here by Majority Leader and Deputy Majority Leader, the Clerk of Parliament, honorable members of OGP caucus and members of Parliament represented here, officials of parliamentary service, members from the civil society organization and think tanks, NAME, NIME, Ananum, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the honor for me to present a brief remark at this momentous occasion on the inauguration of the Open Parliament Steering Committee and the launch of Open Parliament Action Plan. This event, Mr. Speaker, marks a significant milestone in Parliament's commitment to transparency, accountability, citizens' participation, leveraging on the use of technology and innovation in their democratic journey. Ghana signed onto Open Parliament or Open Government Partnership, OGP, in 2011. And since then, we have championed the cause of open governance process. We have made progress in promoting transparency, accountability, civic participation, as well as leveraging technology and innovation to improve governance under the OGP. Ghana has chalked significant achievement in reforms initiatives by enacting and amending some laws, including, but not limited, to the right to information at 2019 at 989, the Public Procurement Act at 2000 at 663 and the amended Act, Public Financial Management Act, Company Act, the Petroleum Revenue Management Act, Petroleum Exploration and Production Act, Office of the Special Prosecutors Act, Witness Protection Act. And not last but not least, Parliament itself, in our own new standing orders, allow committees of Parliament to be open and public. I want to sincerely appreciate the Right Honorable Speaker for his commitment to OGP, particularly for inaugurating the OGP caucus in Parliament. This is a 12-member caucus with representation from both sides of the House and is dedicated to advancing the values of OGP. The OGP caucus also strengthens Parliament's role in the national OGP process by effectively leveraging its oversight functions. As part of our commitment to deepen Parliament citizens' engagement, the Speaker of Parliament inaugurated a Citizens Bureau to facilitate the strengthening engagement between Parliament and civil society organizations. The Bureau also served as a secretariat for Open Parliament and has contributed immensely to this initiative. Since its establishment, the Bureau has convened meetings between the Right Honourable Speaker and civil society actors to involve those experts in the work of Parliament, with the aim of enhancing openness and engagement with the citizenry. These engagements have been fruitful, acknowledging the critical role that CSO play in governance. I am pleased, Mr. Speaker, to inform you that during the regional OGP meeting in Kenya in March this year, Parliament of Ghana was highly commended for its dedication to OGP. My good self and other vice chairs and other members of OGP were engaged in a bilateral discussion with members of Parliament from Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, and we encouraged them to establish open Parliament units and to develop their own action plans. As a result of these efforts, Parliament of Côte d'Ivoire, or National Assembly of Côte d'Ivoire, launched its action plan only last Thursday, and Ghana was represented by our Chief Whip, who is also a member of OGP, an event graced by the caucus itself. This Parliament expressed their willingness to embark on benchmarking visit to Ghana, and we look forward to welcoming this delegation to understudy our progress and experience. Right Honourable Speaker, the Ghanaian Parliamentary Monitoring Organization, PMO, commissioned the inaugural Open Parliament Index in 2022 to assess 13 parliaments in West Africa on transparency, accountability, and civic participation. Parliament of Ghana emerged first in this maiden assessment, and I believe the inauguration of the Open Parliament and Steering Committee and the launch of this action plan will score us more points to sustain and solidify our first position in the subsequent assessment. While Parliament has made appreciable progress, there remain some areas that require further action. I'm hopeful that the outstanding composition of the steering committee members, a blend of representatives from Parliament and our partners from the civil society organization and think tanks, will successfully deliver on the committee's mandate to advance the Open Parliament initiative. Through the spirit of co-creation, we can work together to build a more transparent, inclusive, and accountable Parliament for the good people of Ghana. As a chair of OGP caucus, I've been closely involved in the drafting of this action plan, and I can confidently say that this is a strategic and well-crafted document designed to ensure that all stakeholders fulfill their commitment of open Parliament within the stipulated time frame. The inauguration of the Open Parliament Steering Committee and the launch of this plan is yet another testament of the 9th Parliament dedication to OGP. The OGP caucus remains resolute in its commitment to advancing initiatives that shape policies to reflect the true needs of our citizens. Mr. Speaker, I will not end my speech without mentioning the following personalities who have worked behind the scene over the years to see this day a reality. The Right Honorable Speaker, Alban Sumana Gbagbin, the Honorable Joseph Osei-Osu, the former Deputy Speaker, who is no longer a Member of Parliament, my colleague, Honorable Amapoma, who is also no longer a Member of Parliament, Madam Shirley Ann Fiagome, I've just cited her, former ICT Director of Parliament, Madam Kate Ado, who I haven't seen her around yet, Mr. Kofi, okay, I've seen you around, Mr. Kofi Menka, Mr. Prosper Hoitu, and the last but not the least, Reverend Ebenezer Ahuma Jethro. Where is Prosper? Please, all the people I've mentioned, except Right Honorable Speaker, can you stand up? We want to acknowledge you. Can you please be on your feet? Kate, we want to see you. These were the men and women who worked tirelessly behind the scene to see today a reality. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Emmanuel Bejra. Let me also announce that, even though my name was not mentioned, I worked very, very hard, very hard. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we would like to invite a representative of the Minority Leader. She is the Deputy Minority Leader, the Honorable Patricia Appiagyei, to give us a brief remark.
The Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Majority Leader and colleagues in leadership, I stand on the existing protocols established this morning and deliver this address on behalf of Osahene Kwame Alexander Markin and extend his well wishes to you this morning and also ask for your pardon for being unavoidably absent this morning for an equally important engagement. On that note, I'd like to say good morning to all of you. It is a pleasure to join you today as we commemorate the World Parliament Day and officially launch the Open Parliament Action Plan. Let me begin by commending the Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Kingsford Alban Sumana Gbagbin, and leadership of Parliament, the Clerk to Parliament, and the Public Engagement Directorate for their effort in positioning Parliament and the Public Engagement Directorate for their efforts in positioning Parliament as an institution that not only represents the people, but also engages, listens, and accounts to them. Mr. Speaker, distinguished guests, Parliament cannot fulfill its constitutional mandate in isolation. It must do so in dialogue with civil society, the media, organized groups, traditional authorities, and the citizens whose lives are impacted by the decisions we take in the chamber. The International Day of Parliamentarianism reminds us that parliaments are more than legislative bodies. They are the heartbeat of democracy, fostering transparency, accountability, and inclusivity. In Ghana, our parliament has been a beacon of democratic progress. navigating challenges, and championing the will of the people. Yet, we recognize that democracy is not static. It must evolve to meet the needs of our time. This is why the Open Parliament Action Plan is so vital. The Open Parliament Action Plan is a transformative initiative designed to strengthen the bond between our parliament and the people we serve. As we parliamentarians, we are entrusted with the sacred duty to represent the voices of our citizens, uphold the rule of law, and advance the aspirations of our nation. This responsibility is particularly urgent in a world where trust in political institutions is waning, and democracy faces challenges from populist and nationalistic movements. As such, this Open Parliament Action Plan is more than a document. It is a blueprint for democratic renewal. It affirms Parliament's alignments with the broader open government partnership agenda and underscores our readiness to deepen citizens' engagement, use technology as a bridge, not a barrier, and promote a culture of openness that strengthens trust between the people and their representatives. Mr. Speaker, the Open Parliament Action Plan is a bold commitment to making our parliament more accessible, transparent, and responsive to the needs of Ghanaians. It aligns with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goal 16.7, which calls for responsive, inclusive, participatory, and representative decision-making at all levels. Through this plan, we aim to enhance public engagement, leverage technology to share information, and ensure that every citizen, regardless of age, gender, or background, has a voice in the democratic process. By opening our doors wider, we empower our youth, amplify the voices of underrepresented groups, and ensure that marginalized communities are heard. Our vision is clear: a parliament that is not only a lawmaking body, but a platform for dialogue, a champion of human rights, and a driver of sustainable development. Through the Open Parliament Action Plan, we still strengthen public access to parliament processes, promote gender equality, and empower young parliamentarians. Because the future of our democracy lies in the hands of our youth. As such, we must do more to bridge this gap and ensure that young voices shape our policies. As we celebrate this International Day of Parliamentarianism, let us also reflect on the global challenges we face: climate change, inequality, and threat to peace. The IPU Parliament for the Planet campaign reminds us that parliaments must lead in addressing the climate crisis by adopting greener policies and championing sustainability. Here in Ghana, we are committed to aligning our legislative efforts with the Paris Agreement and other global framework to ensure a healthier planet for future generations. As minority leadership or caucus, I welcome this initiative wholeheartedly. It resonates with our core belief that governance must be grounded in accountability and inclusion. A parliament that is open is a parliament that is strong because it draws strength from the people it serves. I therefore take this opportunity to encourage all members of parliament to see this plan not just as a ceremonial launch, but as a living commitment. It will require consistency, cooperation across party lines, and a shared understanding that transparency is not a partisan value. It is a democratic one. Let us commit to leveraging technology to make our work more transparent. Let us engage civil society in our deliberations and foster a culture of accountability that restores public trust. To the people of Ghana, I pledge that your parliament will continue to serve as your voice, advocating for policies that uplift the vulnerable, promote equality, and drive sustainable development. In closing, I extend my gratitude to the Interparliamentary Union, the United Nations, and all our partners for their unwavering support in strengthening parliament democracy. I also commend the dedicated staff of our parliament and the citizens of Ghana for their trust and engagement. Together, let us make the Open Parliament Action Plan a beacon of hope and progress, ensuring that our democracy remains vibrant, inclusive, and resilient. On this World Parliament Day, let us renew our commitment to parliamentary diplomacy, to building bridge for peace, and to creating a parliament that truly belongs to the people. Together, we can shape a future where every voice matters and every dream has a place. Thank you very much for your attention.
You can do better than that. You can do better than that. Thank you. Thank you very much, the Honorable Patricia Appiah-Gyei. Ladies and gentlemen, let me announce that this event is streaming live on Parliament's Facebook page. And I want to announce that, kind courtesy, the Right Honorable Speaker, next year by this time when we'll be having a similar event, we will be live on Parliament TV. Yes, we will be live on Parliament TV. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I must also announce that this event is in partnership with PN Africa, who are celebrating their 10th anniversary. I believe that my brother has done quite a lot. We have to commend them. Please let's show some love for PN Africa for the wonderful work they have been doing in the area of Open Parliament. I would also want to announce that sometime in March this year, as part of the Commonwealth celebration, there was a quiz competition organized among the various students' parliament, essay competition, organized among the various students' parliament. And this morning, the winners are going to be announced. And the award is actually sponsored by the National Investment Bank. So you can imagine what the award is. You can imagine. Because you are not receiving an award, you are not clapping for them, please. We will be here now. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I would like to invite up here. He was a former presidential spokesperson, became a minister for information, held other portfolios. Today, he is the majority leader, the Honorable Mahama Yariga.
Right Honorable Speaker, the Deputy Minority Leader, the Honorable Minister for Public Sector Reforms, my own brother and colleague, Honorable Bejura, our chiefs and queen mothers present. I've seen the MDs of some banks, colleague members of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker who is trying to find his seat, leadership of Parliament present, ladies and gentlemen. I also stand on existing protocol so that you will not hold me liable if I haven't recognized you. Our major challenge in governance is to address the elephant in the room, and that is corruption. Corruption is a major issue in the governance of our country. Because of corruption, our people are losing confidence in democracy. Because of corruption, our systems are not functioning with the level of efficiency and delivering at the levels of capacity that citizens expect. Our stand that a senior high school niece of mine came and woke me up early in the morning, and guess what she wanted to ask of me? That they were selling WAEC results in her school, so I should give her money to go and buy the results. I mean, there are questions. And that everybody was doing it in the school. And the other parents were buying. Why was I being so difficult? I mean, this is the extent to which corruption went or has gone in our country. Study after study has revealed that public servants will not deliver service if they are not paid by citizens in exchange. And that is the challenge of our generation that must be confronted and defeated. The 2024 Transparency International Corruption Perception Index was the worst in the past 5 years. In 2023, we were ranked 70th. By 2024, we had gone down to being ranked the 80th. Within 1 year, we had moved from 70 to 80 out of 180 countries that were evaluated by the Transparency International. That's how deep and serious the problem is. As a result of the levels of perception of corruption, public trust in institutions have dwindled considerably. Indeed, CDD Afrobarometer report indicated that in 2023, 2024, thereabout, very few Ghanaians had trust in public institutions. They either had very little or no trust at all. And this extended to almost every public institution. Tax departments, local government bodies, the police, and this parliament. And this parliament, people had little or no trust in this parliament. The ruling political party at that time, which was NPP, the Electoral Commission, the president himself, the courts of law, and even the opposition at that time, of which I was a member. I mean, that was how bad it went. That not only did they not trust the president, but they also didn't trust even the opposition. And all the arms of government, they didn't trust them. The only institution that they trusted were the soldiers, the military. And of course, their pastors and imams. This is how bad the situation is. And this is the challenge that confronts us. One of the tools for building citizen trust is open government. When government is open and transparent, and everybody can see what is happening, and everybody can participate in what is happening, it engenders trust. And that is what we are gathering today to see how we can build an open government system that engenders trust in the citizens of this country. So what are we doing here in Parliament? Parliament is putting in place mechanisms to ensure openness and transparency. The MC just told you that by next year, when we come and assemble here, we will be carried live on GTV. It will not be next year. Pardon? Parliament TV. It will not be next year. It is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. It is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. I've given them a deadline. Within 2 weeks, we want to be on national television every single day that Parliament is sitting. Our proceedings are going to be transparent. And not just the proceedings of Parliament, the chamber. We are working our way to ensuring that our committee sittings are also transparent. And not just committee sittings, but meetings in the Speaker's conference room will also be live on television. In effect, everything that happens in this Parliament will be live on national television. The reason is simple. When we go live on national television, 24 hours, anytime we are sitting, the citizens will observe what is happening in Parliament. They will listen to the debate. At the end of the day, when we vote, they'll be able to tell whether this vote was justified or not justified. And they can assess our performance. If you don't win the debate on the floor, and yet you go and vote in favor of a position, the citizens will be able to judge whether your decision was ill-motivated or indeed informed by the evidence and quality of the evidence that was before you. And this is what will build confidence and the trust of citizens. And this Parliament has a fundamental duty to build citizens' trust and confidence, because this is the Parliament that passes the laws. And this is the Parliament that has oversight of the institutions implementing and executing the laws. So if the institutions don't function well, that is the Electoral Commission, the Office of the President, the local government institutions, the courts, and every other institution of state, if they don't function well, the fault is traceable to some extent to Parliament. Because this is the institution that is supposed to hold them accountable. And that is why we are moving with speed to ensure openness. Another new thing that we want to do is that every institution of governance in this country is required to report annually their performance to Parliament. I don't know if you even know this. So the reports come, and over the years, we have not taken those reports seriously. Sometimes we don't even read the reports. Sometimes we read them, but we don't take the issues raised in those reports seriously. We don't follow up to find out what measures are being put in place to address the issues raised in those reports. And so in the coming months, the decision of the Speaker and the leadership of Parliament is that every report of every agency, institution, organization, department, ministry that comes to this report must be reviewed by the committee, and the leadership of that organization brought before Parliament at a committee hearing, and publicly will ask them questions why they are failing, so that their children, their girlfriends, and their wives will see them on television struggling to explain their failures. We believe if that happens, the following year when they come, they will bring a very good report. We're doing all this to engender public confidence in our democracy, in our governance, and also to ensure accountability and to build the trust and confidence of Ghanaians to participate in the governance of their country, to vote confidently for the best choices, and to pay their taxes, convinced that those taxes will only be applied for their welfare and not for individual parochial interests. I want to leave you with a quotation that I believe has become very common among all of us, and that is what the Chief Justice of the U.S. said, Justice Louis Brandeis. He said, sunlight is said to be the best disinfectant. And so open governance is a form of sunlight that we believe will disinfect this our country of corruption, of inefficiency, of wastage, and of all the evils that have plagued our society and made our lives miserable. If we deal with this effectively, I believe we will have a reset Ghana, a better Ghana, a Ghana that delivers up to the expectation of its citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Mahama Yarega, for those words. Indeed, very assuring, isn't it? Very assuring, isn't it? Because especially when the former Chief Justice of the United States Court indicated that the best disinfectant is what? The best disinfectant is what? It's amazing how we have all the sun here in Africa, but corruption here in Africa is another matter. I'm not sure that he knew. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I would like to announce to you that this event is in two folds. The first part, which is the formal part that we're having. The second part of this event will be a demonstration of how, or a reenactment actually, of how the election of a speaker is done. So don't be in a hurry to leave. There's a lot we have to show you, particularly for those of you who have never witnessed the election of a speaker before. Nobody's going to chew papers here today. That one I can assure you. No chewing of papers. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a quick musical interlude, and I would like to invite Miss Etonam Jijenyo. Please, let's give her a round of applause.
First Deputy Speaker, leaders and members of Parliament present, and all of us here, respectfully, good morning. I am here to perform some patriotic songs, and I hope these songs resonate with our common purpose. Thank you.
Give her a round of applause. Give her. I recall when I tried to learn how to play the trumpet. I hear you have to eat a lot before you can play. Unfortunately, where I was coming from, there was not enough food there. So it's when you are satisfied, that's when you go and play trumpet. Unfortunately, it didn't work like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be listening to the Right Honorable Speaker, but before that, we'll do some quick, brief solidarity messages, and the first on the list will be the co-chair of the National Steering Committee, Mrs. Mary Ada. Please, let's give her a round of applause.
Good morning, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me acknowledge the leadership of Parliament and also stand on existing protocol as has been done. And like the Honorable Majority Leader said, I don't want to leave anyone here out. We are all equally very important. Good morning again to you. I just wanted to acknowledge first the Honorable Speaker for the great job you have done in the Parliament of Ghana since you took over as Speaker. I believe he deserves a great round of applause for that. Before I read the statement here, I had to say that because fighting corruption is a very lonely job to do. You do not have support. And so when you have stalwarts like him in the forefront, promoting accountability, transparency, and citizens' participation, then he needs commendation. And we want to put that on record. On behalf of the National OGP Steering Committee, which I co-chair with the Minister of Public Sector Reforms, who is on my left-hand side, my own sister, Honorable Lydia, and on my own behalf, and on behalf of the civil society aspect of the steering committee, again, let me say that the National Steering Committee is made up of civil society and government in equal measure. That is what the OGP stands for, that we need to collaborate. We need to foster linkages. We need to work together to ensure that we promote the three key pillars, and there is a fourth one, of transparency, of accountability, of citizens' participation, and then in all of that, we utilizing technology to ensure it happens. And that is why I'm particularly excited this morning that Parliament is doing some of those great things to ensure citizens also know exactly what is happening around here in these great walls. And we are very much appreciative of that. We want to say thank you on behalf of I see some of my colleagues on the steering committee here, Michael from CDD. I see our national country point of contact, who is also here, who works with the Public Sector Reform Secretariat, Madam Telma Ohinie Siama. Please, shall we give it up for her? She's the one who tries as much as she can to mobilize each and every one of us in this very difficult journey that we are pursuing. And so, Mr. Speaker, your commitment to openness demonstrated through initiatives like the Citizens Bureau, through initiatives like bringing together a parliamentary caucus on OGP. And I must say again and emphasize that when we were in Kenya in March, we were really recognized. And for Prof and others who were there, everybody was excited about Ghana's example. I must, however, say that sometimes we show those examples and then we do not continue with them. And so it is our humble plea this morning that we would not just be showing the caucus as an example, but then we will not follow it through. So this is very critical for us, that as we go to Spain in September, we will continue to show that agenda of togetherness, where both the minority and majority in Parliament are working to pursue the agenda of ensuring that the citizens of Ghana are end beneficiaries of what we are all doing to promote open governance. And before I end, I'll mention some people's names as well. The OGP Action Plan is a multi-stakeholder process which brings together citizens, the government, and also each and every one of us here. And we see increasingly that all arms of government are interested. And I want to say that Parliament has done a good job in this space, and they've represented also on the National Steering Committee. Honorable Bejra mentioned the efforts he has made, and also the efforts of Honorable Amapuma, who have served on the National Steering Committee over the years, and they just do not represent, they are very active members of the Steering Committee. We hope that this will reflect in their dealings as well in the Parliament of Ghana in bringing others on board. As the SDG agenda says, we should leave no one behind. We want to see everybody brought on board. In the space where trust has become a critical issue, open governance certainly then becomes the disinfectant we all need to ensuring that the people of Ghana begin to trust us again. The trust deficit can only be breached if we open up and let everybody know that the things we are talking about are indeed those we live. And so on this occasion where we have a steering committee being inaugurated, we would want to see the reflection of civil society. I don't know who is on it, I was just asking Sami. We would want to see a reflection of civil society and Parliament in equal measures working together to open up Parliament, to ensure that you put up critical commitments. And I must say again that in the National Action Plan, the commitments of Parliament are well stated. And so this is double portion. We are getting a double of what you are committing to do. So I'm very sure that when it comes to accountability, we should be able to show that we have done a lot. And I'm very sure that we would be doing that in the coming. We have a review process that is currently ongoing. I'm very sure the minister would be talking to some of those. And with the peer review process, we should be able to get some of the things you've already done, and that's commendable. Launching alone gives us an opportunity to do so. Civil society remains committed, I must say, not just to observing what you are doing, but also being part of this process. And so if you need us at any time, please just remember that we are a call away. Remember that we are a part of this, because the narrative of the Open Government Initiative, which was signed in 2011 by the past president, Professor Atta Mills, would not be told completely if we all do not show that we really mean this. Let me say that as we remain committed, our eyes shall also be on Parliament to ensure that we are not just being transparent. Transparency is one of the pillars of OGP. The issue of accountability is also very critical. And so we cannot just say we are promoting transparency while the answerability part of it is not there. Who are we? We have a representational duty to perform to our citizens. And so civil society will support in that drive as well to ensure that we are answering to the people who brought us here, but also answering by holding others who you are supposed to hold accountable for their stewardship. On that note, Mr. Speaker, the Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, we would want to say that we are behind you. We solidly support you as civil society, and we would be there for you each and every time. Congratulations on a great feat. I must say others have taken the lead, but I'm very sure we would overtake them because we have speed and we are committed and the plans have been made. Honorable Bejra and your colleagues who are in the caucus, we are ready for you. And so for us in Transparency International, we are already pushing that agenda, that you must understand what it means when we talk about OGP. Because we are talking about transparency, accountability, participation, and using technology. So we are already calling on you to have some debriefer and also capacity enhancing trainings with you to ensure that we are able to walk this journey prepared and equipped. On that note, we say thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, you can do better than that, especially when she has assured the Speaker that, Mr. Speaker, we are behind you. Indeed, when you look at her height and she tells you that she is behind Mr. Speaker, you can actually understand. Mr. Speaker, you are covered. Ladies and gentlemen, next to give us a brief solidarity message is the Minister responsible for Public Sector Reform, the Honorable Lydia Lamisi Akanriva. Let's give her a hand.
Thank you very much, MC. Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, where I am coming from, when you are dealing with an elderly person and with his capacity, you don't mention his full name. So I will leave it there and just say, Father, oh, Father. The majority leader and minority leaders, chairman of the OGP caucus in Parliament, Honorable Emmanuel Bejra, colleague members of Parliament, the Clerk of Parliament, directors and staff of the Parliamentary Service, esteemed civil society organizations present here, chiefs and queen mothers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. If you don't respond, I won't continue. Good morning. On behalf of the Open Government Partnership National Steering Committee of Ghana, it is with immense humility and solidarity that I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the Parliament of Ghana on the historic launch of the Open Parliament Action Plan and the commemoration of this very important international day in our country. This significant milestone underscores Ghana's unwavering dedication to fostering a transparent, accountable, and inclusive democracy. The co-creation of this action plan, through meaningful collaboration between Parliament, civil society, and stakeholders, exemplifies the spirit of OGP and set a powerful example of how legislative openness can strengthen the public trust and empower citizens. By prioritizing accessible legislative process and robust civic engagement, this plan paves the way for a parliament that truly reflects the aspiration of the Ghanaian people. Right Honorable Speaker, as the chair of the OGP National Steering Committee, I affirm our steadfast commitment to supporting the implementation of this transformative action plan. We stand ready to work alongside Parliament, civil society, and all partners to ensure commitment that has been outlined, whether enhancing access to legislative information, promoting public participation, or strengthening accountability. We are fully there for you so that we can realize this plan or this agenda. Together, Right Honorable Speaker, we can make Ghana's parliament a beacon of openness and a model for the region and the world at large. It is worth noting, Right Honorable Speaker, that the independent reporting mechanism, IRP, of the Open Government Partnership Support Unit, in its 2023 to 2027 action plan, reviewed, recognized the Open Parliament commitment within Ghana's 5th OGP National Action Plan as one of the 2 most promising commitments among the other 15 for delivering transformative open government outcomes. The IRP noted, Right Honorable Speaker, and I quote, "This commitment set out clear, targeted activities addressing critical policy areas and, if fully implemented, could drive substantial changes in practice, policies, and institutions to advance open government." I see this opportunity to urge Parliament to prioritize the robust implementation of this action plan, particularly the Open Parliament commitment within Ghana's 5th Open Government Partnership National Action Plan for 2024 to 2028. Right Honorable Speaker, by so doing, the Parliament of Ghana can continue to shine as a regional and global beacon of transparency and accountable governance. I express my deepest gratitude to the leadership of Parliament of Ghana, civil society, our chiefs and queen mothers, and even the citizens whose tireless efforts have brought this vision to life. Let me continue this collaborative journey. Let us continue this collaborative journey to build a more open, responsive, and accountable democracy that serves every Ghanaian. Right Honorable Speaker, on this note, I want to assure you that we are all in support of your transparency with the issue that we are always there to check and to say, as for this one, if you bring it, I won't sign. Right Honorable Speaker, we thank God for giving us somebody like you, and we know, as my sister said, the fight for corruption is a lonely journey, but with you in the boat, we'll cross to the other side of the river. God bless us all and bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lydia. We will be hearing from the Right Honorable Speaker. But before that, I would like to invite, with a rousing applause, Ehememo Cultural Troupe to give us an interlude before the Right Honorable Speaker comes in. Please, let's show them. Please, let's give them another round of applause. The chairman of the museum committee is here, and he tells me that anytime he tried to do this dance, his intestines move, dislocate. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, at this hour, I would proceed to introduce our next speaker. Quite a lot of you have heard of his exploits. A lot of you know where he started from. But again, quite a number of you also don't know where he started from. I will not bore you with that long resume this morning, except to say that under him, this parliament has become a beacon of hope, particularly for other parliaments across the continent. Under him, this parliament has a new standing order. Under him, this parliament has increased the number of committees. Under him, the committees have been opened up to the media. Under him, we now have a Citizens Bureau. Under him, Parliament celebrated 30 years of parliamentary democracy. And for the first time, Parliament went around the 16 regions of Ghana. Under him, this Parliament has a new organogram for the parliamentary service. Under Speaker Bagwing, the Parliament of Ghana hosted the 66th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference here in Accra. Aside that, this Parliament, again, under his leadership, hosted the Conference of Speakers and Presidents of African Parliaments. Under him, this Parliament has a new parliamentary museum. This he commissioned only last year. And ladies and gentlemen, the latest of his babies is the new Parliament TV. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite the Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagwing.
Please be seated. Please, please. Kindly indulge me to adopt the established protocols and to say Akwaba, Wezo, Marhaba. I returned from Niger yesterday. I was called to Niger on Friday, and I had to rush there to go and assist the transitional government to inaugurate a very important consultative council to lead them to draft a new constitution for them to move to multi-party democracy. I did that in the position as chair, as we've been told, of all the speakers and presidents of African legislatures, whether from Arabia or from Luxophone or Anglophone or Francophone, all of them I chair it. And I enjoyed their traditional dances. But it was just a replica of what we do here in Ghana. Just what they were displaying. And so they told me that Niger was my home, and not Ghana. And I agreed and told them a bit of the history. No wonder I'm called chartered historian. But let me apologize to all of you for the late start. I was here before 8:30 and kept on checking how many people were in. I was sad that our elders, our illustrious traditional leaders, civil society leaders, were here. And yet my own people were absent. This is part of corruption. The most valuable thing that God has given us is time. And so if you can manage that time, I don't know where you get to. And people have studied Ghana, and they know we are late starters. Many of you don't note these things. That was what the American football team used to beat us at the FIFA match. Because they know for the first how many minutes, our people are praying and walking around, you know, they are not decent. And in less than 2 minutes, if you recall, they scored. And that time, when the ball got to the defense, you saw our people were not prepared. We are late starters. We're brilliant people, very rich in everything, well positioned in the world as the center of the whole world. We initiate things, and that's the end of it. And so many of the countries I visit, who came here and studied from us, have rather gone far ahead of us. Many, many areas. This is very worrying to me. Because corruption is not just about financial or monetary. It also includes the corruption of our values, our ethics. Corruption of the principles we hold dear. Even our identity. If you cannot market yourself, what value can be placed on you? Nothing. Yet we are very rich, but poor. Because we have not even been able to identify who we are. And what we have is treasure to the world. Yet we ourselves don't see it. That's one of the biggest challenges we have. You all clamor for us to develop. You use a word that I don't know who defined it. If people are looking for prosperity. No, that's not what God asks us to come and do. He wants us to be free and to be happy. All the others you do is just to get you the freedom and the happiness. For me, I can assure you, I'm very free and I'm very happy. And I'm satisfied with what I have achieved so far. So when I die, I'll have a smile in my mouth. That I'm very sure about it. Niger sends their greetings, and they agreed with me to come to understudy how far we've gone, and for us to share the days we started in '79, the pitfalls we went through, so that they don't repeat the same mistakes. and to learn from this, our constitutional reforms, which is ongoing. And so I don't want them to come here and see that we are rather behind them. Please, out of the 400 national service personnel, when he mentioned, only 12 were available. Have we started? What are you going to be? Waste all your lives blaming other people, not yourself. Please, this open governance partnership is to see to a change of our minds, the mindset and our attitudes. Very, very important. If we cannot reset ourselves, we cannot reset Ghana. It won't be possible. And so what we're going to do today, we don't want it to be the usual ceremonies. And I'll tell you some of the things we're doing to make sure that it will not be. And because I'm not everlasting, and I never want to be everlasting on earth, I know where I want to be everlasting. That's where God created, for us to be everlasting. And I'm sure to be there. Those of you who don't want to follow me there, that's your cup of tea. Truly, truly, we have not just me, people who have brought us this far. And our chairman, Honorable Emmanuel Bejra, he couldn't complete his chairmanship. He holds a lot. Even the Christian Fellowship here, he is the chair. And all over, African Parliamentary Network Against Corruption, all those things on human rights, and all, he is just one of our pillars in Parliament. And anywhere he goes, he makes us proud. But how long is he going to be here? How long am I going to be here? How long are these good materials you see here, who are anchors of our democracy, how long are they going to be here? With a high attrition rate, many people praying that you die. So we need to do something to institutionalize this, to entrench it in our lives. And I'm going to say a few of the things. In fact, the keynote address has already been delivered. What the speeches that you heard are exactly what I'm going to say. Very rich delivery, covering the whole subject matter. I'll just draw your attention to a few perspectives, and particularly what civil society and private sector are going to do to support us to make sure that this is not one of the usual 9-day wonders. And so that's why you see all this with us. And in Parliament itself, I'll mention a few things we are doing. And so you see that our new partner, the MD of National Investment Bank, is here with us. And so every year, we have some source of funding. And that is what we should do to civil society, so that they don't have to depend from other people's taxes outside our country to do what they are doing. We are capable of doing that. We can do it as a people. We can. We have the resources. We have the men and the women. And really, today is a celebration. It is our day as parliamentarians. Every day of our lives deserves to be celebrated for the simple reason that we have been blessed with existence by our Creator. However, certain days call us not only to celebrate, but also to deeply reflect, enabling us to convert our experiences into priceless insights. Socrates, one of history's greatest sage philosophers, was right when he declared that, and I quote, "An unexamined life is not worth living." Inspired by this wisdom and truth, I can confidently say that our democracy has made remarkable strides. But we still have to always pause to examine it. My Ga is not too good, but let me try to speak some small Ga. As the Gans express in their native tongue, Wogbe keke. Wogbe jeke. Which translates to, we have come a long way. A sentiment that captures our journey in this Fourth Republic democracy and our progress in embracing inclusivity and diversity. In fact, I did a count of the ladies that are with us today. I'm so happy that we have this number. We have gotten to about 80 women present. And you leaders, if you don't move, the women will push you. The youth will push you to move. And you don't have that strength, they will take over. It's nothing but the truth. So we better sit up. But this day marks a very significant occasion in Ghana's democratic journey. As we observe what I just mentioned, self-introspection, as we inaugurate and also launch a trial. The first one is to observe, and we are observing the International Day of Parliamentarianism. And the second is to inaugurate, and that's the inauguration of the Ghana Open Parliament Steering Committee. And the third is to officially launch. We're launching the Open Parliament Action Plan. These three activities collectively reflect on the nation's progress in deepening democratic governance and promoting parliamentary openness. Celebrated annually on June 30th, under the auspices of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, I was part of that conference when we took the decision. The International Day of Parliamentarianism emphasizes the critical role parliaments play in translating the will of the people into inclusive laws, responsive policies, and accountable governance. We don't want to continue to pass laws that cannot be implemented. You just pass the law and the society sees that this law is foreign. It's not for us. It's not from us. It's not of us. And so they won't obey it. And there's not that political will, the leadership courage to implement the laws. We don't want that again. So this year's theme, achieving gender equality, action by action, challenges parliaments around the world, including Ghana's parliament, to adopt measurable and inclusive strategies that ensure gender equity in representation, participation, and leadership. The International Day of Parliamentarianism is worth celebrating, as it offers an opportunity not only to recognize and promote the achievements in strengthening democratic governance, but also to pause and reflect on the remaining gaps in effectively institutionalizing parliamentary democracy. Ghana's parliamentary democracy now, 32 years strong, the same age as myself in parliament. has achieved significant progress that cannot be overemphasized. I know the young ones are pushing me out. I read it every day in the social media that I've overstayed my welcome in this house. Don't worry. There's still a lot in me. Consistent, peaceful transfers of power, the promotion of good governance through transparent oversight tools, the passage of critical legislation to support economic and social development, and the empowerment of citizens to demand accountability from public institutions through the enactment of the Right to Information Act, among other measures. In Parliament itself, we have put in place audit committee, because I told the House that we must lead by example. Charity begins at home. And so all the accounts, since I became Speaker, we had an audit committee, not internal, external, led by the professionals. Internal agency, audit agency, and the professional associations. They are the people leading it, and they've audited and presented the reports. I have all the reports that I'll be presenting to the House, and we'll give them to civil society. There are some weaknesses they've identified for us to work on, and I want to assure you we'll make sure that we really implement those recommendations. So all these measures are testaments of the consolidation of the gains that we've made so far. This year's theme, Achieving Gender Equality, Action by Action, for the celebration of parliamentarianism, was aptly chosen to focus on the perennial problems facing most parliaments globally, namely a lack of female representation in parliaments. This is because lack of gender equality in most parliaments results in a shortage of gender-responsive legislators and policies, which fail to promote participatory democracy and inclusive development. A report published by the Interparliamentary Union in 2025, commemorating 30 years since the Beijing Platform for Action, indicates that over the 30 years of the Beijing Platform for Action, Ghana has only made 6.6% increment in women's representation in parliament. A very poor score. We started it during Nkrumah's time, where proactive step was taken by him for a law to be passed in parliament to bring 10 women into that parliament. Our colleagues learn from us. There are so many countries now in Africa that have passed over 30%. The data is there. This performance ranked Ghana 137th out of 168 countries assessed. Is that where we should be? In 1995, that is at the time of the Beijing Platform for Action, women representation in Ghana was only 8%. And by 2025, it had increased to only 14.6%. You see, you are like a tortoise. If we don't put fire under you, you will not move. I'm going to be one of the fire. And that is why always I remind His Excellency the President that this law we passed, we are going to hold them to it. Nobody told the National Democratic Congress to also promise us the minimum of 30%. They did it voluntarily on their own accord. We assess you. If at the end of the day, we give you the targets, if you don't meet it, don't blame us for changing our loyalty. I'm a member, but I mean what I say. If you don't get the minimum 30, and then 35, and 50, Ghana, by 2034, please, we even ask our development partners to withdraw from wasting their time with you. They can't keep on spoon feeding you. It will be too much, eh? Wake up. You have everything here. What you have here, they don't have. Yet they tax themselves. Go and see your sons and daughters laboring outside and see what you enjoy every day here. They don't enjoy it there. And they rather pay for them to come and take care of you again. This is unacceptable. A critical examination of the report reveals that Ghana has fallen behind in terms of women's representation in parliament over the last 30 years compared to many of its African counterparts. The calls for purposive action from us to build institutional structures and create the right atmosphere for more women to come to parliament is really getting belated. Last year, the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 2024, and I met the LIPS, members of the LIPS. The leadership are here. That is Ladies in Parliamentary Service. And I made sure that they could all memorize the number of the act so that they keep on referring to it to hold us in government accountable. And I told them it's just to say 1121. That's the number of the act. Act 1121. So even if you cannot say Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act, just say Act 1121. And I was so happy that the women have taken the fight. For our women here, we have quite a number of them. Here we can say that we are very high there to take up and form an association of ladies in parliamentary service, which is very vibrant, very, very vibrant. In fact, they organized the cultural festival that we had here. The gentlemen are getting, I don't know whether I should say jealous or envious or whatever. I know. That's what we want. If you don't dominate your man, you'll never be happy. And you know you do it, only they don't say it. Because you take care of us in the house, everything. And the men, they all know. They only pretend. And so Act 1121 was passed to institute a phased quota for women in both private and public organizations. Parliament must lead by example by ensuring that the Act is effectively implemented by all political parties. We are not just looking at government, by all political parties, thereby encouraging more women to participate in the decision-making process. And that's where I want to call on all of you to please take time off your busy schedules and look at the constitutional reforms. There are things we have to put there to compel all these bodies to go by the rule of law, by making sure that from the onset, the women are well represented to be able to elect them to the decision-making processes. If we allow the parties to keep on playing partisan politics, we will never get there. Furthermore, there is a need to resource, strengthen, and elevate our Women's Caucus in Parliament, which plays a crucial role in promoting inclusive lawmaking and ensuring that gender perspectives are fully integrated into national legislative priorities. And that is why in Parliament here, all your delegations, I always insist that there's equity representation of women. The men complain because the women are only 40 out of the 275. The 276th person is still at Ablekuma. The person hasn't arrived yet. And so they are complaining that the women are getting opportunity to travel and go to other places to represent Parliament, and they are not getting it. Now who caused them? You are the same people who has caused it. You are already empowered, and you left them behind. There cannot be that kind of sharing of things equally in this Parliament. It won't happen. Maybe when I'm not there, it can happen. And so even when I had to rush to Niger on Friday, and I came yesterday, I had to take some ladies by force to Niger. Yes. And it was an admiration. The symbolism. I'm sure if I mention the person, you all understand why. My own daughter, Honorable Dr. Zanato Ajiman Rawlings. The mention of her name and the experiences they went through, because we have to share with them. This work we are doing is very sacrificial. Since I joined politics, I became the property of Ghana. That is what you offer to do. And you sacrifice your whole family, because you are not for the family again. You are for Ghana. And all successful politicians look at their family backgrounds, because you are an asset of the country. You can't continue to behave like you used to. There's a new code of conduct. There are rules of ethics you must go by. So as you are walking around in Accra, if your people are looking for a queen mother or a king, and they come and logo you to the village, your life has changed. You can't continue to behave like you were behaving in Accra. It's the same thing when you enter public service. When you enter a political office, you must change. You can't continue to be like before. And so her presence caused a lot. And I took her to the stage to speak. And she spoke. She is also the chairperson for our Committee on Security and Intelligence. So it's not only the political, but where they are being ruled by a 5-star general. And so they will realize that we take security and intelligence very seriously. And I do anyway. So please, we have to do everything to achieve what we are talking about. And that is why we have put in place measures to provide for the Women Caucus a dedicated budget, staff, and institutionalized involvement in legislative planning, because we believe that this will increase the influence of women in whatever we pass into law. And you know, it's translating policies into actionable, enforceable rules. That is what law is about. That's why I'm calling for the 24-hour economy to be brought to the House for us to debate it. It's a very key policy intervention. And we must own it, not any government or any party. And so it has to be brought to Parliament for us to debate it. And we see that some weaknesses are there, we strengthen them. If we see that it's not fit for purpose, we reject it. That is what it should be. And I was misrepresented by the media. The Free Senior High, I called for it. It didn't come for debate. The media reporter said, we came for debate and we approved it. No, we didn't approve any such thing. And that is why I insisted at that time that it should come for us to debate, to approve it, adopt it, own it, and assist in its implementation. These are key interventions that can transform the country. And they are well-intentioned, but it's not for the government. The strength of Parliament is in the people, not the institutions that we are trying to reform. It's the people. It's not just we are representing them. We are them. And so if you don't give that opportunity to the people to own it and believe that it is for them, you go and build the structure in the school there, a school structure there, and only goats will be there. You've seen it at places in our country. Nobody will go there. So please, these are important matters. They are not partisan. No, they are meant to develop the nation. Additionally, nationwide civic education campaigns are necessary to foster public support for women's political participation. Multi-stakeholder collaboration among Parliament, civil society, development partners, and academia should be deepened to provide technical support and empower female candidates. And so what we've done here is to link up with all the research institutions. And they have agreed to send research personnel on any area to Parliament. Whilst we try to build the institution itself, we now have ready source, current information, so that the decisions we take here are evidence-based. They are not the phantom of anybody's mind. I've linked up with the NCCE, the constitutional body empowered, legitimized to do civic education. And the chairperson is always with me. We are involving them in whatever we do, so that together with their offices, not only at the regional and the district levels, all over, we now have work to do. We're paying them, and there's not much, because their budget is nothing to write home about. Our civil society partners, you see them very, very active. In fact, they are driving this whole agenda. Civil society. It's just that we have given them the opportunity to operate. Well, what they know, we don't know it. And so we tap on their knowledge, on their expertise. And they are assessing us. P&Africa, Africa, every day, I don't sleep because I know Sami is always watching me. And he's marking me. And so they sent some questionnaire here for us to answer. And our officers did the answers, and they brought it to me. I had to add other things, because they did not value those things. So I added it for them to see. If not, the first that we scored in 2022, we may not repeat it. And I don't want us to lose it. for that one, if we lose that position, I will call for a remark. So we established structures and we are prepared to fund them. Initiatives like the Citizens Bureau, the Citizens Bureau's office have already been mentioned, but we also have the public engagement, a whole department. And that is where we brought this young lady from retirement to come back to assist us, Superintendent retired Efia Tengi. She is leading it. And then we also established the media relations, and we brought Mr. Damwa. I can't spot him. Where is he? Yeah, at the back. To lead it. And then you've been told about the broadcasting. Yes, we mean business with the broadcasting. And we'll start broadcasting live. This year, we'll do it. And this time around, there will be no rule to focus on only the one speaking. It will be focusing on everybody. So you get to know how your MPs conduct themselves in Parliament. These are some of the things that we are putting in place, and we are going to very soon allow MPs to speak in their mother tongue. Very important. No society develops by using the language of another country. In fact, on Thursday, we're going to receive the Prime Minister of India to address our Parliament. And he's going to speak in Hindu. He's not going to speak in English. It's not that he can't speak English. Very good in English. But he will speak in Hindu. And so we have to get that technology you are talking about in place. And we have to get the personnel to be there to do the translation. Now, in Ghana so far, I have not located any of you that can speak Hindu. And so we may borrow from them. But we want our languages to be heard on the floor. And so we're going to start it very soon. It's captured in our standing orders. The new standing orders have captured it copiously for all MPs to use their mother tongue, provided they can simultaneously translate it to the official language of English. And so very soon, we'll be employing experts of these languages to come and support us as translators. We have also joined Francophonie. The parliaments in the French-speaking have their own, like the English-speaking with Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. They also have their association, and Ghana has joined it. And so I've spoken with the embassy to work with our Parliamentary Training Institute for us to establish classes, French classes. And if you don't know how to speak French, you won't go with me to their conferences. Hey, start upgrading your French. One of the qualifications for those who went with me to Niger was the ability to speak French. So all those who went there could speak some French, including our professor, the lady who teaches French here. What is her name? Bernadette. Bernadette. So she had the opportunity to go with me. So please, we mean what we are saying. Ladies and gentlemen, for emphasis, the International Day of Parliamentarianism has been planned to coincide with the inauguration of the Open Parliament Steering Committee and the launch of the Open Parliament Action Plan. This is both timely and strategic. It aligns with the country's ongoing efforts to deepen democratic governance. It is part of the broader Open Government Partnership, a multilateral initiative that promotes transparency, empowers citizens, combats corruption, and harnesses new technologies to strengthen governance. And I've already told you the steps we are making in that direction. AI and all those will come into place. And we are doing all to protect our system here. So very soon, this parliament will not be, even though open, it has to be secure and safe for you when you are here. So there are a lot of things that we have to put in place to make that happen. And I'm talking seriously to the government that the ceremonial gate is for Parliament. They cannot continue to be closing in at 6 when we are still in session. And we are all compelled to go through the back door. Chiefs don't enter the palace through the back door. Queen Mothers, is that what we do? And so I refuse to enter Parliament through back door or exit Parliament through back door. I will use the ceremonial gate. That is the decision I've taken, and that is what I'm practicing now. Please, if you talk about democracy, you can't have democracy without Parliament. And so that one, I don't take it lightly. We ensure that it happens. Let me state clear that this Parliament remains committed to the principles of OGP. It is in this spirit that we inaugurate the Open Parliament Steering Committee today and subsequently launch the Open Parliament Action Plan. These steps further mark the deepening of our OGP commitments, and I am confident in the strength and inclusivity of the Steering Committee's composition and its ability to deliver on its mandate. Having reviewed the Open Parliament Account Plan, I did myself, I read through it, I can affirm that it is a well-developed framework designed to ensure the full realization of our Open Parliament commitments. I read it and I made some observations and comments. My staff know that I can edit a lot. Because if you hear that I'm asleep, then it's 3 a.m. I don't sleep early at all. I have only a few years to serve Ghana. After that, it's all there for me to be sleeping. So, and the everlasting sleep will come. So why you worry about sleeping? So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Open Parliament Action Plan is centered, as we've been told, on the 4 pillars. And I've taken you through the 4 pillars: the transparency, the accountability, the citizen participation, and you know, the last one being the technology and innovation. The OGP is driven by urgent need to address emerging challenges within the parliamentary space, including limited citizens' access to legislative processes, low levels of youth and gender inclusion, perceptions of inaccessibility and gaps in follow-up on parliamentary decisions and reports. Recently, I met the clerk and the management team and gave them marching orders. All bills we get now, major documents, will have to be shared with all our partners to go through and make inputs. So the Bar Association should sit up, because we'll be giving them bills and we need their comments. We need their inputs. All other groups will be giving you, and the clerk is here. They will have to implement it because I'll be monitoring and evaluating them based on that. And so, we don't want to leave anything undisclosed. Whatever we do here is the property of the people. They pay for it. They pay us to deliver the service. So they must know what they pay for. And that is why we are prepared to share all these things with you. This clearly reflects a shared commitment to address national challenges through stronger collaboration between government and citizens. As John F. Kennedy aptly put it, partnership is not mere posturing. It is an ongoing process defined not only by shared goals, but by a collective commitment to equality, aspiration, and a fervent passion that drives on forward. This is exactly what we are committed to. And as I conclude, I am filled with a deep sense of purpose and renewed hope for the future of parliamentary democracy in Ghana. This unique gathering has not only commemorated the International Day of Parliamentarianism, it has affirmed our collective commitment to strengthen the pillars of openness, accountability, and public trust in our democracy. Let me assure you that my departure will not have any effect. It will be a failure on my part if I don't grow the young ones to do better than I have done. That will be a failure of leadership. It's part of leadership to bring up successes that will outperform what you have done. And you can see what I'm doing with my deputy speakers. They can tell you for sure that these are not coincidental things. We sit down and plan, and I tell them to go and do 1, 2, 3, and they do it. They just don't follow what I say, but they add their own capacity in implementing what I say. And you can see how they are rising. I hope that you see value in them, and not after that go and jettison them and just introduce untested, untried. I won't add the other word. Hands. We need to grow our leaders. Leadership, yes, the theory is there. There are evidence that it can be born, but most of the time, you have to gorge it. And so that is what we are doing in this house. So this unique gathering has not only commemorated the International Day of Parliamentarianism, it has affirmed our collective commitment to strengthen the pillars of openness, accountability, and public trust in our democracy. To every member of parliament, let the spirit of openness inspire in all your work. And to every Ghanaian, this is your parliament. This is your home. Any of you that is feeling threatened or your rights being abused, this is the place you can get to. And when we move there with our, what you are carrying, the traditional symbol there, ours is what? The maize. When we carry our maize to that place, and the instruction is that the speaker says, will you come and place it there? There's no authority in Ghana above that maize. They will obey. That is what parliamentary democracy is about. We are the protector of your human rights. And that is why when they want my members and my staff, they write to me to release them. And I just don't release them to the homes. No, we follow to ensure that the law is obeyed. So it is for you too. And that is why the MPs have been given the extra rights. They are not special human beings. They've been given those privileges and immunities to be able to protect yours. And that is why when you are in trouble, you call on your MP to come. And so if the MP hasn't got additional powers and authority, how is he going to help you? That is the basis for the privileges and immunities of members of parliament and parliament itself. It's like the judges, when they give their ruling, even if they are wrong, you can't hold them for any offense committed. You only have to appeal. And so we have our own. Don't just see it as if MPs have been given some special rights to misbehave. No, they are not above the law. And anytime I see that the MP is trying to misapply it, I just give them to the agents, security agents, to investigate and prosecute. And a number of them are being prosecuted. To every member of parliament, as I said, let the spirit of openness inspire all your work. And to our brothers and sisters Ghanaians, this is your parliament. This is your home. The success of open governance depends on your active participation. Seize the opportunities being created. Use the right to information law to demand transparency. That is one of the areas we marked down. And so we've established the office. We are strengthening it. They ask for information and reply giving reasons. I will not tolerate that one. I won't accept any reason. Even if the person could get it from the Minister of Finance, if we have it here, what prevents her from giving it to them? I will not allow that. We will open our doors to you. Come in with the light and let people have trust in what we do here. It's very, very important. So seize the opportunities being created and use the law to demand transparency. Engage your MPs and parliament. Partake in community forums. It is your responsibility to hold your leaders at every level to the high standards we expect and deserve. Let us recommit ourselves to building a Ghana where our parliament is acclaimed as the most open, accountable, and responsive in Africa. A Ghana where every citizen feels a genuine sense of ownership and belonging to the government. It's not just the people we elect to be there. We are all part of the government. I am a member of the International Council of Political Renewal, and we hold meetings from country to country. Just in Nigeria, when I raised it, and I gave them a bit of a lecture, my colleagues, ministers, speakers said they want to come to the school I've established in Ghana. Yes, I've established an institute. And we're going to open it to all of them so that we can go through these things together. Ghana cannot develop in isolation without the other countries in Africa. And we have to go together. The story I got there, you know, they take their goods mostly from Ghana. The long tracks, articulated tracks that destroy all our roads, go as far as Niger. They are mostly driven by Ghanaians. And since the Sahel is not in peace, our drivers are in pieces. Yes. When I was there, I was showing the pictures of the more trucks that were hijacked, bent, and the drivers killed. So these things we are doing, it's not just the usual business. No. It's something serious. You sit here, you don't know. Your children are involved in all this. And Ghanaians are just interested in coming to a ceremony and talking, and going home to sleep. It's another day. I saw it myself. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I inaugurate the steering committee and officially declare the Open Government Partnership Parliamentary Action Plan duly launched. Just going to mention the members.
Yes. May I respectfully ask the Honorable Emmanuel Kwesi Bejra, he is the chair of the OGP caucus. Please come up here. The Honorable Alexander Kwesi Akwa, Vice Chair. Mr. Ebenezer Ahuma Jetro, Clerk to Parliament. Mrs. Esther Poku Edohine, Programs Manager, Commonwealth Human Rights Initiatives. Mrs. Matilda Ayamga, Programs Advisor, NOSAC. Dr. Michael Augustus Zakabo, Programs Manager, CDD Ghana. Mr. Jerry Sam, Executive Director, PEMPLUS Bytes. Mr. Samuel Obeng, Executive Director, Parliamentary Network Africa, and Mrs. Efia Tenge, Director, Public Engagement and Secretary to the committee.
Well, here we have the members of the Open Parliament Steering Committee. I will, at the appropriate time, when we're going to hold the meeting, because I'll always be present, I will swear them in there. But here, I'm just to introduce them to you. They are your people. They are to ensure that we implement all what I have said, and they themselves have stated. If we are able to do that, you can be sure that Ghana will develop. Because there will be no power above the power of Parliament. And the power of Parliament is the power of the people. This brazen impunity called corruption will hold them, and people will run away from it. I've told my friends internationally that they are even more corrupt than us, because they are the recipients of the process of corruption from Africa. If there is no place for you to sell stolen goods, you will not steal anything. But once they provided that place, then our people will, through other means, always go and do what they do there. But they really admired it. But you know, if you are using the policy of America first, then you know what that means. So I will thank all of them for accepting to lead this whole crusade. And on your behalf, I want to call on the Almighty God to bless the Parliament of Ghana, to bless all our stakeholders, and particularly the good people of Ghana, and to make our homeland great and strong. Copies are available, and I'm sure some representation will be given. We can't give to everybody, but it's important that you get copies and then you go through. Thank you so much for your patience, your attention, and your commitment. God bless you all. Thank you. Oh, he wants me to emphasize that I'm the chair. I've already stated it. That will always be there to ensure that it is done. So at least I accept that I'm the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Please, let's keep clapping for the speaker. I mean, I don't condone corruption, and it's important that none of us here will attempt to do so. When you deserve it, you ought to be given. And so, Sammy, something that is yours, there's no way somebody should be able to take it away from you. And so, team for you, team for you, team for you, we are going to win this time round again. I can assure you. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want to acknowledge a few dignitaries that we have here. Let me acknowledge our traditional rulers or leaders who are here. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Nigbese. Nigbese is here with us this morning. Nigbese Manche. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Na Oboshi Duamombo Yedura the first, and Naho Manye. And Naho Manye, she's also here. Okay. Na Koyo Ajoyi the first is also here with us. Thank you very much for your time this morning. I would announce Na Densua Efriye the second, Queen Mother. We also have Manye Na Badu Adiagba the first. We have Manyena Bokele Odina the first, Nungwa Mahian. Manyena Bokele Yoha Adiagba, Nungwa Brigadier. Manyena Osanyara, okay, Osanyara. Ni Boyfio We. And then we have Na Abba Ashawa Abola Manye. Please let's show some love. Abola Manye. We have a few honorable members of parliament here with us as well. Earlier we had the First Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Bernard Ahiafo, who has asked permission to attend to other events elsewhere. The second Deputy Speaker is here with us, the Honorable Andrew Esiamwamwako. Thank you very much for your time. I've already acknowledged the Clerk to Parliament, Mr. Ebenezer Huma Jetro, the Minister responsible for Public Sector Reforms, the Honorable Lydia Lamisi is also here with us. The Honorable Emmanuel Kwesi Bedre.